I'm aware that this may seem stupid, but see, every word has pattern. Every sound has pattern. Every movement has pattern. Not just the sound wave, but the physical object that's moving. Now that hits something and that will make another pattern, but that's when we get into other densities. We have inner densities and outer densities. So there's you're the one, that is like 4, the doorway. There's 3 inside your body and 3 outside your body. But when you realize you're not your body, that moves on to a divine state of inside the earth, outside the earth, and what is invisible. It moves in sequence. Now this is hard to follow, I'm sure, at first, but listen to it a little bit, maybe write it down, do what you need to do. But like Thomas the Tank Engine, let's say first a tank has an engine, and that engine has a tank for fuel. Now, if you are inside the tank, you could say that, okay, like I am a tank. Like this person is built strong. That's him talking like in 4th density when he would say, I'm a tank. Because we know what a tank is. Somebody made a tank, and we've agreed on what we think it is considered to be a tank. Now, a fish can be in a tank. So a guy could run over another tank. That's an outside density. And he's in the tank, driving it or remote controlling it somehow. He's either in it spiritually or in it radioactively, which radioactively would be RC at like the radio act, but then you're actively in RC is remote control. You have control. You are the 3rd density controlling that radioactivity. So a tank, and then you would say thank you, and you would say thank you over something either someone said or did to you because you think about it, you like it, at a moment of time, a tick of time, right now, so that's where the tick loses the N, but right now, this moment in time, now, N, in nature, a tick of nature, a wrinkle in time. So we have, you are in a tank. The tank is called a tank. You could be a walking, talking tank. That's the 4. That's the one that's in between the 2. Okay, so now you are thinking about something. That is your think tank, okay? When you think of something and call it something inside your mind, it becomes a thing that you're thinking. That is some kind of thing. So you see the word tank? It's something that you're thinking, that is a kind of thing. Right now at this moment, you're thinking about something being a kind of thing. Your think, tank, thunk, a thought of what something's kind is. Like I think that's something, because that here identified now kinetically think. But what you generate as its grouping, or what you call it, thing. I think that's a thing. The tank, I think, is a thing, because I thought about what somebody else told me its kind was, and it became a tank. And then I looked at it, and that's what I think a tank is from now on. But now I have all these different densities, because you can drive a big tank, fish can be in a tank, and you can fill up the tank's gas tank. So it's like there are densities to words, and I'm hoping that using this little one wasn't too small and minuscule so that people can't see how big this gets, because a tank can do a lot of destruction. Like you can be a person who's a tank, and you can do a lot of destruction. But you could sit and be lost in your think tank. Like Thomas the Tank Engine is like a train that wants to get things done. The whole problem we have in life is we think we have something that we need to get done. So it's like the little train that could. You know, he thought he could. I think I can. I think I can. And what was it he was trying to do? He was trying to get things from one place to another and get something done. But is it necessary what his load was? Say we're taking trains full of garbage to deliver. We think we're doing something, so we need to get something done. But what we're getting done is taking us apart. So instead of thinking about what we're doing, we're listening to other people who sit in what we call think tanks, and we throw ideas around in our head and say we can't do that because that's not what the bigwigs said. Like, it's all mathematic words. Like, bigwigs, people who think big-headed. You need a big wig for a big head. And I'm not trying to sound politicians. They tell you what is polite that I can do in actual life, political. Like we tell you what you can do. We are police-like. We're political. Like ickle, what is physical? What your person here, yoke and yonder, does. So what they think you should do in a physical world as police of your physical, political, like they tell you what to do. And if you listen, not that those individual people are bad, but that you didn't agree in the first place, ever. And they can't say that you ever did. It doesn't matter what our ancestors did. If they agreed, if they were held down, if they were ruled, if they were dominated, then that's that. Squash that right now, move forward. All the people with their big, heavy armor and stuff on, stop being so scared. You only put up a fence when something inside you has once been offended and you feel like you have to defend it. These are words specifically said in rhythmic pattern to get to your heart, to tell you that we need to make a brand new start. And I'm not even trying to rhyme. I don't mean to. It's like I'm trying to stop it from rhyming, honestly. But if you can think to yourself that this is right or this is wrong, not it's okay because I like it. Instead of looking at everything like that, you can keep doing some of the things that you like and shouldn't quite do, but see who they're affecting on a deeper scale before you continue to do them. Before you put on raunchy stuff or violent stuff, think about if your kids are around. See if their impressionable mind may not interpret that message the way you want them to. Or is the problem that you've already have a mind that's been distorted by those messages that you don't think it's bad for the future to be just like that? Look at everything you see and be like, is this what I want the future to be? Do I want the future to be dancing, singing lollipops? Do I want the future to be silly things? Do I want the future to be war and destruction? If not any of those things, give it none of your attention. Take it out of your life. The more people that do that will take war out of their life until people come and kill them. And at that point, you see who the bad people really are. And if you don't die, great. If you do die at the hands of the bad people, or ever, these are the words I can use, someone who comes and does you wrong when you didn't do anything, when you came from love, God will allow you to do some of the most amazing things in the non-physical world. Now, it may be scary to think that way because you'll be like, if I live right under the rules of nature, what should and shouldn't be done, I will end up living a great life. And that means not eating things that are once living, that are now dead. If it's something that drops its fruit, it's free for you to have. Fruit. I fruit this for you. Fruition. Something grows into its thing. Now you don't, just like we do with animals, you don't purposely grow so you can pig out and pig out and pig out. It's not saying eat 1 billion apples. It's saying an apple a day keeps the doctor or the dishurt or the discern away. Like not the dishurt, but the discernment. Like instead of you won't get irked if you have 1 apple a day. Like apple is applying yourself, knowledge, application. It's those things are all rhythmic words that all mean the same thing when you use them in the right way. You can use everything in the wrong way. When you look for applause or appreciation from opponents outside yourself, or you apply yourself towards something negative, then it goes the other way. I mean, this is a math problem in spiritual math. Trying to speak at the people who don't want to open their minds almost makes me seem crazy because it's so true, it's scary. Because it applies to everything from the deepest, darkest thing you've ever heard of to the most bright and loving thing you've ever heard of. So keep your mind at least on the balance between until you can escort it a little bit towards the next side, over into the 5th densities or the 4th and 5th densities, because they come together. We're in the divine 9. So when you get to the 4th density, the 5th one is right there. But that'll just be you shedding your ego until you get to it, or you'll be stuck in the 8, because you can get really divine, spiritual, and become a guru master and be a Buddha or be a Krishna. And you can even be stuck on the biggest names you've ever heard, whoopee ding dong, that nothing bad with them and nothing great with them, nothing better about anyone or anything. but you can get stuck on the infinite eight cycle, even talking about Buddha and Krishna, even talking about Christ and Yesu and Jehovah and every indigenous God name, every name that you've ever heard. You could worship whoever you wanted to, and it will never be true, because you will have the next course through your life as a human being or as an animal or a plant. And I'm not going to get into those things because those sound weird too, but it's all just math. And once you see it, you feel it. You don't just feel it in a way where, ow, I remember that burned me last year. It's like that feeling that goes along with, I got hurt emotionally a long time ago and it's still there. Like, you don't only just live it. You've been through it so many times that when people don't believe you and you try to recount all the stuff that you've been through as an interdimensional being, a spirit who's been alive forever and recognizes it and can remember everything, it hurts to even try to recite it for people. So like, oh, what happened when this happened? I'm like, which time when Abraham Lincoln got shot? There was times when Abraham Lincoln was bad. There was times when John Wilkes Booth was a president, and all the shapes and sounds and signs turned different ways and made different things happen, shaped differently, seen differently through different eyes all the time. And that's happening right now, but we agree upon most of it because we're thinking and doing and watching and having the same things. And that's okay as long as we're thinking and doing and watching in some of the same things that are peaceful. And a lot of people have lost peace. They've had a cease of peace, which is dis-ease, and their minds are being controlled by somebody else. They don't think so because they're like, oh, my mind isn't controlled by somebody else. I know that I want to watch this TV show, and then they turn it on, and guess what? Now it's being controlled by something else because they're not thinking their thoughts. They're watching someone else's acts, and them acts get to be the things they analyze in their mind. So their mind is now maybe making its own personal opinions, but of somebody else's actions, and analyzing, should this be or should this be? And it doesn't matter if you think you're doing that or not. If you don't meditate, you're meditating on whatever you're watching and doing, or taking part in, or letting happen but knowing about. It's just the way it works. You can't escape the way it really is. Your mind is constructed of what you introduce to yourself and what you deduce or introduce to yourself from the outside world. It's just the way it is. And now I'm going to leave it at that and work out. Go connect with the higher power again. God bless you. Peace.